and welcome to the class. The first thing you need to do is you need to go to aplusstudents.com. You go to the website, you log into the website, then you select math as your subject. This is a math class. This is a grade 1 lesson. Grade 1s, okay? The topic for today is subtraction. T-I-O-N. Okay, the topic is subtraction. Let me give you the chapter number and the lesson number. Just a minute, please. And the chapter number is 5 and the lesson number is 2. Okay, so the chapter number is 5 and the lesson number is 2. And the name of the lesson is Make a Number. We need to create a number using subtraction. Okay, and the numbers should be up to, we would create numbers up to 10. Okay, so let's go to the website. Let's go to the website. Mathematics, grade 1, chapter number 5, lesson number 2. Okay, so the question over here, it says, how do you make a 1? Okay, let me just copy the question for you. Let's see how it is done. We will look at different examples over here and we'll see what can be done in the questions. Okay, so the question over here says, how can you make 1? If these 4 exam options are given to us, right? 4 2, 3 2, 3 1, 3 3 2, and so on, right? So what we can do is, when we look at the first option, let's look at the first option. Okay, if we have 4 stars, let's suppose 1 2 3 4, right? If we had 4 stars, for this case, 1 2 3 4, how many do we need to subtract? How many do we need to remove? We need to remove 2 out of these, right? So what should be left over here? It should be 2 left, right? The next one we have is 3 minus 2 and 5 minus 3. We just need to find which options will have 1 as the answer. How do you make 1? Okay, what is the difference between the two numbers? That is 1. Okay, we're just looking at the difference. Let's try another shape. Okay, if we consider another shape, that is, let's suppose we say 3 minus 2. Let's take 3 apples. Okay, I will just copy one. Just a minute. If we have 3 apples, let me just copy it on the screen. Okay, if we had 3 apples, out of these 3 apples, let's label them 1, 2, and 3. How many apples do we need to remove out of these? We need to remove 2, right? So can we remove 2? 1, 2. How many are we left with? We are left with 1. So how do you make a 1? 3 minus 2 is equals to 1. This is true for 1. Okay. The next one, let's see. 3 minus 1. Okay. So let's see what would be 3 minus 1. Let's pick up another shape and let's see what we can do with the next shape. If let's suppose we have 3 of a different fruit, right? Let's just copy it on the screen. Okay, we have 3 of these fruits. We label them 1, 2, and 3, right? So 3 minus 1 means if we ate one of those, right? If we consumed one of those. So how many are left? 1 and 2. Agreed? 2 is left. 3 minus, yes, thank you so much, Princely. Okay, so we have 4 options over here. These are the 4 options given to us. First, second, third, and the fourth, right? So out of these 4 options, we need to see how do you make 1. So 4 minus 2, yes. 4 minus 2 would be 2, right? We showed it over here with the stars. 3 minus 2 with the apples, right? We had 3 apples. If we ate 2, we are left with 1. Then we had 3 minus 1. That means if we had 3 strawberries, we ate 1, we would be left with 2. Thank you so much, Princely. What about 5 minus 3? How can we do 5 minus 3? Can we pick 5 of anything? Let's suppose if we pick 5 apples again, okay? If we had 5 apples, I'll just copy the shape, okay? If we had 5 apples over here, can we number them? Can we say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? How many did we eat? 5 minus 3. That means we remove 3 apples. We remove 1, we remove 2, we remove 3. We always remove from the larger number. So how many would we be left over here? We would be left with 2, right? So there is only one option in this. 3 minus 2 would be equals to 1. So this is our correct answer if we have to make a 1. Okay? This is the only possibility where you can make 1. Otherwise, all 4 minus 2 is 2, 3 minus 1 was 2, and 5 minus 3 was also 2, right? Let's move on to the next question. Let's look at the next question. Okay. How do you make a 4? Okay. So let me just copy this. How do you make a 4? Okay. For question number 2, we have this question. This asking us how do you make a 4? I'll just realign these values. Okay, 4 minus 1, 5 minus 2, 5 minus 1, and 5 minus 3. So these are the 4 options given to us. And what they're asking us, which of these options will make an answer that would be equals to 4? So this is our question number 2. Okay, so 4 minus 1, right? So can we say 4 minus 1 would be, if we had, I'll suppose a very simple shape, if we had 4 circles, right? Circle 1, circle 2, circle 3, and circle number 4, right? Because this says 4 minus 1. Can we label them? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 minus 1, that means we need to remove 1 circle. So what should we be left with? 4 minus 1, 4 circles were there. If we remove 1 circle, we would be left with 3, right? 5 minus 2. Let's see, 5 minus 2 can be, let's pick up a different shape, which we already have. Okay, so 5 minus 2, can we say these were 5 apples? Let's count them, write down the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So out of this, 5 minus 2 should be equals to, okay, we remove 2 out of these, 1 and 2. So how many are we left with? We are left with 3. Agreed? But still, again, we have another 5, right? And we say out of these 5, if we remove 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Out of these 5, if we remove 1, what should we be left with? We simply need to remove 1. If we remove 1, how many are there left? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes. So we can say in this question that if 5 minus 1, this was equals to 4, right? So this is true because we had to find a number. How do you make a 4? This is how we can make a 4, right? 5 minus 1 was 4. Let's look at the last option. That is 5 minus 3. So if we can pick up a different shape, let's pick up a different shape. Let's say if we have 5 pencils, right? We can pick, okay, copy these. And we are saying that how many pencils would this be? These are 4 right now, right? So we can make copies of these 4 and we paste another one, sorry. And we need how many? We need one more, right? So we just simply take one more and we remove this. So how many pencils were there? There were 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? What we need to see is 5 minus 3. What should be our answer for 5 minus 3? Let's remove how many? 3 pencils. We remove the 5, 4, and 3. So how many pencils are left? We left with? We are just left with 2 pencils. Our requirement for the question was, how do you make a 4? Through subtraction, right? So there is only one option that gives us 4 as the answer. That is 5 minus 1 will be equals to 4. Yes, thank you so much, Prinsley. So there is only one option, 5 minus 1 equals to 4. Yes, thank you. So let's have a look at the next question. The next question says, how do you make a 2? Let's see how we can create a 2. Just a minute, I'll just copy it on the screen. For question number 3, this is the given question to us. And let me just simply align this over here. For those who can directly do it, it's very good. You can directly do it. But here I'm taking different shapes because I need to explain this topic to you. Okay. Later on, we'll see how we can do this directly as well. So how do you make a 2? 5 minus 2 would be, what is 5 minus 2? If we had 5 of any shapes and if we remove, okay, if we remove 2 out of those, let's suppose if we had 5 of any shape, I'm just picking a common shape that we already using, okay? If we had 5 of these apples, let's label 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If we remove 2 of these apples, or if we ate 2 apples, how many apples are we left with? We are left with 3. But what do we need to find? We need to find how do we make 2 out of the answer, right? Hi, Adiboy. What we are doing is we are looking at different number subtractions to see how can you make a given number. In this question, what we are saying is how do we make 2, right? So what is 3 minus 1? If we say we had 3 stars, right? And if we remove 1 star from it, let's suppose 1, 2, and 3 stars. And if we remove one of the stars from it, so how many stars would be left? We would be left with 2 stars. That means we have to find 2. Yes, this is agreed upon, right? Looking at the next 4 minus 3. So let's suppose if we have 4 boxes, 4 squares, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? If we had 4 boxes over here, squares, we need to remove 3 out of these, right? So if I say 4 minus 3, that means we remove 3, 1, 2, and 3. What are we left with? We are left with 1. Agreed? Yes, thank you. And in the last one, what is 4 minus 1? If you have, if you open up 4 fingers and you, let's suppose, oops, close 1. Or we say we have 4 pencils, right? If we had these 4 pencils, let's number them. We can say 1, 2, 3, and 4. How many do we need to remove? We need to remove 1 out of these, right? So we simply say we remove 1 pencil from this. So how many pencils will be left? How many pencils are left? That means we are left with 3. So in the question, what we had to do was, how do you make a 2? So there was only one option that made a 2 for us, right? The other options had different answers. So we can say 3 minus 1 will make a 2 for us. Thank you. Moving ahead to the next question. How do you make a 3? So the next question says, how do you make a 3? Okay, let's just copy this. This is question number 4 for us. I'll just make a margin in the middle so that we can keep them separately. Okay, we draw a margin that separates the questions. Okay, this is our question number 4. In question number 4, they're asking us, how do you make a 3? So what we can say 4 minus 2 is? How can we say it directly? Oh, we have another option. We have an easier way to solve this, right? If the question is saying 4 minus 2, the larger number is 4, right? We can write the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And they're asking us to remove how many numbers? They're asking us to remove 2 numbers. So we remove 1 and we remove 2. What are we left with? We are left with a 2. You don't have to draw the shapes. We can simply, yes. Thank you, Adiboy. That is the last option, 5 minus 2. Yes. For 3 minus 1, yeah, the answer is correct, perfectly correct. 3 minus 1 would mean we write the 3 numbers 1, 2, and 3. How many do we need to remove? We are just trying to remove one number. So if we remove 1, we are left with 2. Still, we cannot make 3, right? 5 minus 1. So what about 5 minus 1? I'm explaining every step, right? But your answer is already correct. Okay, 5 minus 1 would mean this was 1. So if I say the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the largest number minus 1. That means we are left with a 4. We don't need a 4. Looking at this last option, that is 5 minus 2, we write down all the numbers. Still 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't even have to do these numbers by writing. In one hand, there are 5 fingers, right? If you close 2 fingers, how many fingers would be left open? Right? We can simply do it by counting on our fingertips. 1, 2, we subtract 2, right? And we should be left with 1, 2, and 3. That means our required statement that would give an answer of 3 is 5 minus 2, right? Thank you so much. Goodbye. Okay. Moving ahead with the next question, let me just copy the next question and let's see if they are getting difficult or not. We would want to do more difficult questions. Okay. 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 It's still 5. Would not be that difficult, but we'll still try. How do you make a 1? Okay. So question number 5 says, how do you make a 1? With the given options here are 5 minus 3, 5 minus 2, 4 minus 2, and 5 minus 4. Right? If these are the options given to us, and we need to see which value would make a 1, right? Let's see. Sorry. Okay, 5 minus 3 means, what is 5 minus 3? So simply we can say is, we can write the 5 numbers, right? If this was the first requirement, this is the second requirement. Any number that is 5 or less than 5, we can do it on one hand, right? Yes. Okay. We have 5 minus 3. So we can write the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We don't have to write it again. I'll just copy them. Copy over here. These were till 5. And this was also till 5. And this was till 4, right? These numbers were till 4. We just copied the 4 and we removed the 5, okay? So the first one was 5 minus 3. So what we need to do is we remove 1, 2, and 3. We are left with 2. 5 minus 2 means we remove the largest two number and we are left with 3 digits. Then can we say 4 minus 2? That means from the total of 4, we remove 2 and we are left with 2. And for the last one, we can say that 5 minus 4 would mean out of these 5, we remove the 4 and we are left with 1 only. The question said that, how do you make a 1? So 1 is the answer for only one statement. That is 5 minus 4. And we also know that, yes, thank you. And we also know that any two consecutive numbers are those numbers which come after each other, right? Like 5 and 3 are not one after another because there is 4 also. 5 and 2 has 3 and 4 in the middle. 4 and 2 has 3 in the middle. But 5 and 4 are consecutive numbers because when we do the counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and right after 4 is 5, right? So when they are consecutive numbers and they are being subtracted, the difference will always be 1. Okay? Okay, let's try another question. Question number 6. Okay, let's see if it's more difficult. Simple. Okay. How do you make a 4? Let's try doing how do you make 4? Okay. This is the given question to us and they're asking us to find how can we make a 4. So we can put different shapes also. Let's try taking a one single shape for all these. So the maximum, the question number would be question number 6. Okay. And what do we need to find? How can we make a 4? How do we make a 4, right? So for all these given options, can we just pick one particular shape? Let's try doing it with a single kind of a shape. Okay, 1 minute. And we can pick any one of these shapes. Let's suppose if I pick up the apples, okay? If I select standard 5 apples, so can I say if I have these 5 apples over here, I would put them again over here. I'll remove the excess, okay? Don't worry. I'm just copy pasting them. and then we will just write whatever we require. We will remove the excess, okay? This would be 4, because the last number is 4, this would be 3, right? So if the first part of the question says 5 minus 2, we can write down the numbers. So if we have 5 minus 2 and we remove 2 out of these, how many would we be left with? We would be left with 3, right? The next one is 4 minus 1, right? 4 minus 1. So out of these 4, if we remove 1, what should we be left with? Yes, thank you so much. 5 minus 1 is the correct. We will be left with 3 again. So 3 minus 1 would be 2. And the last one, let's look at the last option. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? If we need to remove 1 out of these, that means 5 minus 1. We can always say 5 minus 1 would be equals to 4, right? And that is the correct answer. Agreed? So let's just highlight it for our own sake. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Adiboy. Grinsley, do we agree on this? That 5 minus 1 would always be equals to 4, right? There is only one option that gives us the answer. There is no other option, right? Okay, let's say we change the question a little bit. Okay, for the next question, I'll just make some changes to the question. Okay, and we will say we pick the correct answer or match the correct answers. Okay, let's change the way we are doing a question. Okay, if we have the next question, and I would say match the correct answer. Okay, how do you make one? Let's match the correct answers. If this was given to us, just a minute, please. This and this. Okay, these are the 4 options given to us in question number 7, and they're asking us how do we make a 1. Okay, and also they say that match the correct values. Okay, so let's see if we are changing the question. We are trying to make it more interesting for us. If these numbers were given to us, I will write another 5 numbers, right? That should be, we can have a 3, we can have a 2, we can have a 3, and we can have a 1, right? So if these 4 options were given to us, the first, so can we say 5 minus 4 would always be equal to 5 minus 4 is always equals to, yeah, yeah, that equals to 1, right? So can we say that 5 minus 4 would be connected to 1? Because this is the correct answer, right? Do we agree? We're just trying to make a question more interesting, like connecting them also. And in this way, we would be able to find 4 answers, right? Okay. 5 minus 3 was equals to, what is 5 minus 3? Can we say 5 minus 3 would be equal to 2? Agreed? So can we say that the 2 is the answer? Right? We've already found out how we make 1. That is 5 minus 4 is 1. Now we are trying to solve the remaining questions, right? And we need to match 5 minus 2. If we say we have 5 minus 2, can we say 5 minus 2 is 3, right? 5 minus 2 will be 3. Agreed? And what is 4 minus 1? 4 minus 1 would be equal to the last remaining value, and that is simply 3. Agreed? So what we did was, they were not asking us to solve all 4 of these. What we did was, we found the answer. You gave me the correct answer, that is 5 minus 4. Then we changed the question and we said, let's see what the remaining answers would be equal to. Okay, so in one question, question number 7, we tried to do 4 different questions together, since we are connecting them together, right? Okay, so let's try another. In the same way as question number 7, we will try to do more. That would make it easier for us to do more questions. Okay, sorry. Just a minute, please. Let me go to the questions. Okay. So the next question we have is still 5. Okay. How do you make a 3? So the next question says, how do you make a 3 or match the correct answers? Okay. I'll just change this statement. I'll remove how do you make a 3, and I will just say match the correct values. In question number 8, match the correct values. Okay, so we just need to do the matching. In this case, we can bring it down just a minute so that I can realign the question. 3 minus 1. Okay, if these were the 4 options given to us, and the options I can write down as, we can say this was 4, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, no, 1 minute. Okay, if these options are given to us, let's look at the first option. What is 5 minus 1 would be equal to? 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 should be equals to, Adiboy or Krinsley, 5 minus 1 should be equal to which value? We can say that if we had 5, we open up 5 fingers and we close 1. So how many are we left with? 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So we can say that 5 minus 1 should be equals to 4. Agreed? Do we agree on this? How about the next one? 5 minus 2 should be equals to, what is 5 minus 2 equal to? Yes, thank you. 5 minus 2 should be equals to, 5 fingers are open, we close 2 fingers out of this. So we should be left with 1, 2, and 3, right? If 5 fingers were open, 5 minus 2 means we close 2 fingers. Yes, we would be left with 3 only, right? So we can connect 5 minus 2 with 3, right? So we say they are connected. That means the answer for this is 3. Okay. How about the next one? What about 4 minus 3? 4 minus 3 should be equals to 4 minus 3 should be equals to 4. If we open up 4 fingers, we close 4, 3, 1, 2, and 3. We are left with 1. Or we have 4 candies. We gave away 3. How many should we be left with? We should be left with 1, right? 4 minus 3 is 1. So we try to find the 1. Here is 1 and we connect the 1. We say that the answer for 4 minus 3 is 1. And automatically 3 minus 1 will be the last given value, right? 3 minus 1 would be equals to 2, because this is the only option that is left for us. Okay, so in this way what we did was we tried to match the correct values together, right? We wanted to see which answers would be 5 minus 1 would be equals to 4 and so on. We just simply match them. Okay, so let's try to go to the let's do some questions from the test, right? Okay, let's try some questions from the test. Let's go back to the test. Can you people join also so that we have the same questions on the screen? Okay. Can I be able to copy paste? Just a minute, please. How do you make a 3? Okay. Very difficult. Okay. It's written in this manner. I'll just realign the question. This is from the test. This is question number 1. Okay. And they're saying is through which option you can make the answer correct, right? How do you make a 3? This was option B. This was option A. Okay. This is option C. Just a minute. Option C. Okay. And this was option D. So through which option can you make? Okay. I just realigned the questions so that we have our options right in front of us. Okay. So, and the question is saying, how do you make a 3? How can you make a 3? I'm just trying to make it more readable for you. Is 4 minus 3 equals to 3? 4 minus 3 would be 1, right? 5 minus 1 would be, how much should it be? Yes, option A. Thank you so much. 4. 3 minus 1 would be 2. And 5 minus 2 was 3. And we had to find 3, right? Thank you so much. That is option number, right? Okay. Option number B. Yeah, the first answer. We are being confused because of the ABCD. Okay. So that is the first option. A is the correct answer. Let this A, B. The first option was the correct option. Okay. Thank you. Let's try some more questions. And the second question from the test would be, this was 5 minus 2. Okay. We select option. Okay. The next question, question number 2 says, I would not realign this. I'll just leave it as it is. Okay. And we would try to find which option would give us the answer. So the question number 2 from the test states that, how do you make a 1? If these options are given. This is question number 2 from the test. How do you make a 1? In this case, this is option A, this is option B, this is option C, and this is option D. Okay. So how do you make a 1? 5. I may. We are simply doing subtraction. What is 5 minus 3? What is 5 minus 3? 5 minus 3 should be equals to 2. We need to find 1, right? 4. Yes, option C. Let's confirm. Thank you, Adibay. 4 minus 2 was 2. It's not equal to 1. 3 minus 1 was still 2. It's not equal. But this is equals to 1. Yes, thank you so much. That is option number C. So we click on option number C. Yes. Thank you. We move on to the next question. The next question says, how do you make a 1 by you out of these values? Okay. For the given values, we need to see where we can make a 1. Okay. Let's just copy this. For question number 3, we need to find if this was option A, this is B, this is C, and this is D, right? We need to find at which option would make us a 1. How do you make a 1? Okay. The 4 minus 2 is 4 minus 2 would be 4 minus 2 would be 2. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Your answer. Thank you, May. That is option B. 4 minus 3 was 1. We just need to look for 1. We say option B is the. But let's verify the complete set of answer. 3 minus this was 2 and this was still 2. So only this option, option number B, gives us an answer that is option number B is the only option that gives us a difference of 1, right? So option B is the correct answer for us, right? Thank you. Moving ahead to the next question. B was correct. I'll just copy the next one. The next question says, how do you make a 2 from the given values? Okay. For the question number 4, they're saying that how do you make a 2? For question number 4, let's see how we can make a 2. This is question number 4. And how do we make a 2 out of these options? This is option A, option B, option C, and option D. We need to make a 2. So what is 5 minus 2? Yeah, option number B, right? Yes. 5 minus 2 was 3. 5 minus 3 was 2. We already found. 4 minus 3 was 1. And 3 minus 2 should be? Yes, your answer is correct. That means we had to find a value that was making it as a difference of 2, right? So there is simply one value which has a difference of 2. That is option B. And option B is the last option. So we click on option B. That is our last option. Okay. For the next question, it says, how do you make a 1? Oh, they have 20 questions in the test, but all the questions are similar difficulty, right? Very simple. So please do complete the remaining till as many as we can complete. We will do those, but the remaining would be for your homework, right? So this is question number 5. And the question number 5 says, how to make a 1? How can we make a 1 out of these numbers? If the options given to us are option A, option B, option C, and option D. So which option should be the correct option? Thank you so much, May. Option, yes, it's correct, but I'll wait for the others to answer also. Crinsley, what should be the answer? Anybody? The answer? Yes, thank you. And Crinsley? See, we know that 2 minus 1 would be 1, 3 minus 1 was 2, 5 minus 3 was 2, and 5 minus 2 was 3. What we are looking here for is, we are looking for 1, right? And the 1 is only over here. That means option A. Let's look, where is option A? This is just the option A. We find A and we click on A. That means 2 minus 1 would be equals to 1. Okay. So I would expect you people to complete the remaining questions. Okay. Very easy. You would just take 5-10 minutes to complete those. Please try the remaining and best of luck. Okay. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.